Hey there, party people. This is Dandolph, and we are coming back for another episode of Easy Minecraft Farms. Today, we are going to look at steak. Also beef, but more importantly, steak, because that's the end product. So, as you'll kind of assume or probably know, steak and beef comes from cows. So, I wanted to show you a few things with cows. First off, if you're in survival mode or even in creative, if you are carrying wheat, the cow will follow you. I have that one on a lead, so it's not going to follow us, but you can see this little baby cow. He's going to follow us till the ends of the earth as long as we don't get too far away from him. This is the easiest way to go ahead and get your cows into a pen. So you take your cow, you find out in the wild in nature and survival mode, and you build up a little pen for him. Then, once all that's good, you're going to go right into the pen. The little baby cow will follow you, and then you, he went in there. Then you can close, oops, come on cows. What I usually do is once I get them all in here, I kind of switch off the wheat real quick and run out so that they stop following me. There we go. And then as you saw, when you have the wheat in your hand, you can feed it to a cow. It will have these little hearts, and that means that it's in love mode. Once it's in love mode, it will start producing babies. You can do love mode once every 5 minutes, and each time it will produce one baby cow. As you can see, there's lots of little baby cows in there now. It takes the baby cows about 20 minutes to grow up. You need to do nothing else to these cows. That is all that is required. So that's the most simple way to breed cows. So I'm going to go ahead and try and let one cow out here. Yeah, come on. There we go. Nope. Oh, all the little baby cows came out. That's fine. So when you want to yield anything from the cows, you have to kill them, obviously. So I'm going to go into game mode survival. Oops. My typing is bad today. Okay, so once you're in survival mode, once you kill these cows, there are 2 drops that they can drop. First is beef, because they're cows, and that's what cows drop. Second is leather. These are both very, very useful items throughout the course of the game. There we go. So we got some beef and we got some leather. These are probably two of the most useful items early game. Beef is one of the best foods in the game. For it being just a natural food that you don't have to craft, beef is the best food in the game. Leather is incredibly useful early game in making books to be able to get your enchanting table going. You also need leather to make item frames and, other useful things. Why isn't that working? Now it works. Okay, weird. Anyways, yeah, so those are 2 of the most useful items in the game. So I'm not going to duplicate this because literally it's just fences in a box. There's a couple other ways you can do this. As long as they can't get out, you could even do... you can even build a hole like this, and they won't be able to get out. And you can just keep pumping your cows in there. They won't want to try and fall in on their own, but you can shove them in there. And then there you go. You have a super cheap, easy cow pen. That's all you really need to do. But the fences do look a little nice, and I wanted to use the nice new fences. Oops. So the next thing we're going to look at is an entity crammer. So basically what this does is... Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back. I'm going to clear out all these cows. Okay, so entity cramming. This is a term used in Minecraft for representing how many things can live in one space. So I'm 1 now. If there was a second one of me, I would be 2. 24 entities, such as mobs, minecarts, anything that's considered an entity. 24 is the max number that can fit in 1 square. So ultimately, what we're going to do here is take advantage of that. So I'll show you up on the top here. As you can see, there are a bunch of cows just crammed into there. If I flick this lever, they all pop up. Then, once you have all these fed up, there will be 24 cows in here. Then, once you breed these cows, they will produce baby cows. Once a baby cow is produced, it will automatically take precedence over the adult cow, meaning since there are 25 entities, one of them has to get out of that space. The baby cow, since it is smaller, will stay in the space, and the older cow, the adult cow, will die, automatically dropping its loot. So ultimately, all you have to do is walk up to this and feed it, and you get free stuff. Like, you can't really beat that. So we're going to look down here in the chest. As you can see, stuff is dropping down in here, and these are very, very simple to make. So I'll go ahead and show you what all we need to make this. So I'm going to clear out my inventory. Let's grab a chest, a hopper, the smooth quartz that we're using, the fence post, a lever, a dispenser, and a bucket of water. That is all we need. So we'll start by placing our chest down wherever you want your chest that you're going to grab stuff from to be. Then on top of that chest, we want to put a hopper. Okay? Super simple. Then we want to go ahead and build these out to make it look a little bit nicer to cover up the front panel. We're going to build that. We're going to build that. Right? We're also going to build 2 here and 2 here. Okay? Then we're going to build another row here. All the way around like this. Perfect. And then we want to remove that one. Take our dispenser. Oops. It's not going to let me put it right, is it? Place it here with the water bucket inside. This can go back. We need to go up one more block. And we need to drop our lever right here. You want to take your fence post and cover up the top. We are done. So in survival mode, what you would do is you would get your wheat, you would lead your cows up to this thing without this fence being here, drop them in, and then put a fence over just to hold them in place. Here in creative, we can just spawn cows in there. So we're just going to spawn a bunch of cows in there. Weather is not playing nice today. Okay, as you can see, they're starting to die now, so I'll just go ahead and stop there. That's it. That's our entity cramming farm. You can cover this up in the back to make it look a little bit nicer, but that's really all it takes. It's very, very, very simple. It's very, very easy. These are great for early game food. The problem that I run into with this is problem 1. As you can see, it's raw beef. You can eat raw beef, but you're going to give yourself a stomach ache. That's no good. You can't have raw beef. That means you have to now use all of your fuel that you spent all of your time mining to go get that, and then now you have to waste it on cooking up your beef. That fuel can be used for much more important things like smelting ores and all of that stuff. So that's a downside to this, is that you do have to waste fuel to smelt your beef. The second downside is you can only fit 24 cows into one single space. So what that means is it takes 2 cows to breed a baby. You can only produce 12 cows with each feeding. That's only 12 pieces of beef. 12 pieces of beef doesn't last you very long when you're running around in survival mode on hard going caving. You have to constantly be feeding this thing over and over, wheat every day. Or you have to build 10 of these things for it to even be useful. And then you've got 10 of these things producing you just raw beef. So I came up with my own solution. We're not going to rebuild this one just because it's a little bit big and a little bit complicated to build, but we'll go through it step by step, and we will see exactly what we have going on here. So what I wanted to do was produce a simple automated cow farm that produces leather and cooked steak. And this is what I came up with. So I have a much bigger version of this on my Let's Play series, so if you want to see how this can be scaled up, then go check that out. But what we do here, the idea is you feed all these cows. When they produce baby cows, they will fall out because there's a 1 wide gap here, right? So you can see them get pushed out. Then that water is going to push him. I'm going to get the wheat off my hand. Going to push him into here, which is going to which has another water stream, which pushes them even further, which drops them below, which has lava, which is going to be sitting above their head. See, you have baby cows under here with lava above their head. And this is great because as soon as these cows grow up, guess what? Their heads burn and die in lava. Then it produces steak for you. Not beef, cooked steak. So this works really incredibly well. Every once in a while, the cows do like bump their heads into the lava and they potentially can kill themselves as babies, but it doesn't happen very often. So let's take a closer look at each one of these layers. So at the bottom, like usual, we have our input chest. Then we have a platform of hoppers all leading into this input chest. Above that, we have a row of signs so that there can be an air gap for the baby cows to be able to live. Then I have lava. One sign here, stopping the lava from going down in the drop hole. Above that is the same exact thing, but with water. All of the water flowing into one sign, going down into the drop hole. Above that, we have a bigger shelf of water that catches all the baby cows when they fall out from the top area here. That water all flows into the center with 2 layers of signs. I probably could have gotten rid of the bottom layer of signs, but this is how I built it, so I left it that way. Above that, a row of grass. This can be any texture, really. Cows don't need grass to survive. I just thought it looked nice with the grass. Above that, one empty space so that the baby cows can fall out, but the adult cows cannot. Then above that is our fences that hold the adult cows in. So it's a pretty simple design, but it can be very, very effective. Actually, you know what? There's nothing stopping us from going to look at my Let's Play farm. I'm going to go over there and do that real quick, show you how this can be scaled up, and show you it in action. I'll meet you over on my Let's Play series in 1 second. Alright, we are here in my Let's Play world, and you can kind of see a little bit of my fun stuff in the background there, but that's not what we're here for. So, here is my cow farm in my Let's Play series. So this is jam-packed full of cows on every single layer. And then it's multiple layers across, but it's basically the exact same build. So we've got all the water flowing into the center, then we've got the double signs, then we've got the drop down into the lava below onto the hopper shelf. And then I have my collection system underwater, which we'll go check out in a second. Though I did not think about grabbing some wheat, so I will see you back in 1 second again once I have some wheat and we'll feed this thing up. Okay, we are back and we have wheat. Yay, wheat. Okay, so we're going to feed up these cows and I'll show you how I do it. I just jump right up here, hold shift, and go back and forth. Feeding cows, feeding cows, feeding cows. I usually do a double pass on each layer just because they're so densely packed, just to make sure I get most of them. So yeah, that's basically it. And then you'll see the baby cows as they get produced come down here. Let me get the wheat out of my hand. They all get shoved into the middle there. They all get shoved into that little hole over there. Then they fall down to the bottom layer and hang out in the bottom until they grow up and die. So the one downside to this farm is you cannot get instant materials from it, but you do get the cooked beef and you don't have to waste all of, you do get the cooked steak and you don't have to waste all of your fuel on that. So we're going to go down here. This is my collection system here. As you can see, we're getting cooked steak and leather. Those are the two things that get produced from this. So that's what's super great, is I can just come straight up here, put that into my food, and then I'm set to go. So as you can see, this farm will be able to produce a lot more than an entity crammer will. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to show this off, because I see a lot of people using the entity crammers, and it just doesn't quite make sense to me. You don't end up with cooked food, and you can only produce like 12 a dozen at a time, and that's if you're lucky, and every cow that dies produces at least one steak. Like, that's just not a lot of materials. So I wanted to show off this updated automatic cow cooking farm. So yeah, thanks for joining me on this one, guys, and I will see you on the next episode. Have a good one.